Tom Curran, Patriots insider, here on the Rich Eisen Show, here on a crazy, mixed-up world Thursday. How are you, Tom? What's going on?
At the moment, I'm eating tiny little chocolate-covered pretzels with little holiday sprinkles on them.
Okay.
They are incredible.
Was that was that part of Belichick's "I'm sorry" gift to the media as well? Did he give out chocolates to you too, Tom?
No, nothing like that. No, he didn't do anything like that. I think he went far enough. The funny thing is, Rich.
Yes, Tom.
On a scale of 1 to 10, post-game agitation, that was like a 3. I still don't understand why he apologized to the group. Nobody felt bad.
So please walk me through what happened Monday when he apologized for his post-game shortness, abruptness. Please walk me through what that was like with you and your colleagues who have been covering the team for so long. Tom Curran, please do me that favor.
He gets on the Zoom. Fellas, before I start here, and, you've got the rest of the audio, but basically said that it wasn't our fault, not your fault, that they lost the game. But here's my theory.
Yes.
Guy I work with, Phil Perry, he and I have been together on the beat for 10 years. And Phil is a very diligent, hardworking, respectful, courteous guy who does stories that go well and in-depth, kind of like I was 15 years ago. So Phil loves Phil. And Phil asked the first 4 questions in the postgame. And each one of them, Bill kind of sent back at him like, Karch Karai.
At the net.
Good reference.
Good spike reference, man. I like it.
So I really think that some of it had to do with Phil. Now, we have people going, somebody got to Bill and made him apologize. I'm like, for what? It wasn't even bad. No, Linda said something to him, or Jonathan or Robert. I'm like, do you know what his face would look like if Jonathan or Robert told him to apologize? After all the things that he has done in post games, to think that he would he just felt bad about whether it be Phil in specific or all of us in general. He's like, yeah, you know what, whatever. Just tell him I'm sorry. That'll catch him off guard.
My theory was exactly that. It's just a great life partner, seeing your video and how you have come across, and them wanting to make sure that you do better, or can be seen in a light that you should be seen in, since she or he sees you in it. That's what that looked like to me.
So you thought it might have been Linda Holiday?
No question in my mind. It
no
was just
way. She's been with him since like 2007.
I know. I don't know. What was it?
No.
Or wait, hold on a minute. Maybe we just think it's Bill self-scouting. Maybe he's self-scouting. What do you think?
I 100% think that look, if it was me sitting there asking those questions, I don't think he would have circled back and said, I'm sorry. I'm not saying we have a bad relationship, but over the course of time,
yes,
I think that, there's plenty in both buckets, good times, bad times. I wish this kid would get another job times. So all of that. But with Phil, I think everything has been to the good with Phil. Okay. He actually sought Phil out last year. You should have Phil on sometime. He sought Phil out because Phil asked some scouting question, and Bill's like, yeah, it's a million things. We're not going to get into that. And then the next day, he comes on a Zoom and goes, yeah, Phil, sorry about that. Here's how we do this on the scouting.
Okay.
And he goes on about...
So he's got a soft spot for this one reporter, is what you're saying. He's got a soft spot.
Yeah, the Senator Phil Perry. I want you to have him on.
He's like the Randy Moss of your group, or he's got like the LT of your group.
He's a young guy.
Like he's got a soft spot. Or a Mowat. He's a Zeke Mowat. What is he?
He's not the Zeke Mowat.
Is he the Zeke Mowat of the group?
He's Matthew Slater.
He's okay. Oh, okay. Okay, he's Matthew Slater. I got it.
Yep.
Okay. Makes sense.
See, by the way, to all of us, this actually makes sense.
It makes sense. It totally makes sense.
So funny. We were just, we just, I knew that was had to be my first question of you, just what it was like to the beat writers who've been around there and done that.
That is a cool thing about this job, is to try and figure out the psychology behind what the people say, whether it's Belichick or Mac Jones or Brady. because there is so much that goes on behind the curtain, and we do know how purposeful his words and his times at the podium are, that it does become an interpretive dance, where with Dan Campbell, there's no real interpretation. It's all right there. But with Belichick, it's, the most successful, but also the most enigmatic and discreet team there is. So we get to have people come and say, what do you think? And we come up with our cockamamie ideas, and we're probably all wrong anyway.
Well, there's another sorry this week as well, right, from Mac Jones apologizing. He just won't answer questions about the Colts game anymore. So what's going on there? That
is Bill at the point of a bayonet saying, we're not talking about that game. That wasn't us. We're off it. We're done with it. Because I think that's one of those games, how the bury the football game, the Patriots did it a long time ago after Brady's second start. Many teams have done it since, where they ceremoniously bury the football to say that game didn't happen. I think the Patriots are doing the same thing with the Colts game, which is interesting, guys, because I think that's what the Bills wanted to do with the Patriots game. The Bills got shamed. The Bills, at least in the mind of Sean McDermott, beat themselves in many ways. He sat there at the podium basically saying, they didn't beat us, we beat ourselves. And that's the same feeling the Patriots have about the Colts. Colts played well, but the Patriots backed themselves up, gave a punt block touchdown up, had a red zone pick.
Yeah.
Took 3 points off the board on us. They completely believe, Colts, nice team, but they're not better than us. So that's why they're moving on from that.
I don't know about that, though.
I know, but that's what they think.
No, and I don't blame him for thinking that. I don't blame him for thinking that. And I saw more mistakes than what you just walked through, and I'm sure you did as well. There was also first play of the second half where it looked like either Stevenson got the ball incorrectly, or the lineman thought it was a pass play instead of a run play. I mean, coming out of the locker room that way in the second half, and this is after a bye. So obviously these games happen, and we hadn't seen the Patriots play something like that in quite some time. What about Mac Jones? What to read out of that? I know you want to bury it, but that fourth quarter was pretty damn good. Certainly that throw to Hunter Henry out of the outstretched arms of Darius Leonard, that's the good stuff. That's what you might need in January, on occasion. So
he is so amazingly resilient. I mean, and we've seen it all the way through camp, from tiny play-to-play bounce backs to bad practice to the next day, unbelievable practice bounce backs, to even in the Chargers game. Remember, we've talked about that, Rich, a couple times on this show. You were there that day.
Yep.
You watched the game. I took that as a huge game for him, in that for 3 quarters, he played like a rookie and like a C-level NFL starter. And in the fourth quarter, when they needed a clinching drive, he was pretty much lights out. So he bounced back in that game. I would imagine that this week, if he holds true to form, he will play a hell of a lot better than he did last week, because he always has bounced back. But at some point, though, when you've gone through what he's gone through in the last year, without cease, from Alabama to the draft process, to beating out Cam, to a 17-week regular season, at some point I'd just say, I'm done, man. I need to just close my eyes here for a minute.
And he doesn't appear to be doing that. So what is the approach for this game this week? Do they take out that passing game that they didn't need a couple weeks ago and just throw that out there? I know Bill was even joking about that after the game. We were talking about we could use the passing game in a couple weeks because we didn't use it tonight. Or what is the sense? That 3-pass night against Buffalo, is it right or wrong to say that is the way that the Patriots look at Mac Jones when it comes down to winning football games? I think it's the way that the Patriots played, depending on all circumstances and the circumstances of the weather. So, but you hear the conversation
of, the way they look at the Bills. It's not how they look at Mac Jones. It's how they look at the Bills. And if they say, well, they kind of got a soft underbelly there, let's throw some body shots, then they'll do that. But if they had a weak chin and they thought that they needed to hit up high and they wanted to throw, they would let Mac do that. I think it has much less to do with the nature of the quarterback than it does the nature of the opponent. And this week, I just don't know how Buffalo can magically wave a wand and be better in the front seven against the run. So if I were the Patriots, I would approach it exactly the same way as they did the last time around. And until they stop it, keep hammering it. But what'll be interesting is they're kind of forced to approach that way as well, because Nelson Aguilar's got a concussion, N'Keal Harry's got a hip injury, and Kendrick Bourne is in COVID protocols. He could be out by then. But that's your wide receiver room, except for Jacoby Myers.
What is the wide receiver room? Like how, I don't.
At the end of the hall, down the line.
I know. I just, right. It is, what, would you say it's the weakest link on this team? Would you say that? Or is that unfair? Unfair. Go for it.
It's the most, it's.
What is it?
Oh boy. It's,
right.
They're not going to give you A+ work. They're going to give you a lot of 78s to 81s. Okay,
C plus,
B minus.
Yep.
Needs improvement.
They're never going to give you a 67 either. They're just not going to turn that test in, and you have to go, what were you doing? That's their ceiling is 78 to 81. And that's the interesting thing about this offense is a lot of those skill positions are populated by guys like that. There is no Gronk. There is no Edelman. There's no James White who could occasionally turn in a 93 for you. They don't have guys who can turn in A days. So you need everybody to make sure that they have their 78 or above.
Well, I'll tell you what. I think that kid Stevenson.
Do you like that analogy?
I do. I think it's great. No, I really do. I think that kid Stevenson can though, right? And Harris, I mean the way that he hops in the hole. Sometimes the way that he avoids contact, he is really talented. And that's the question is like which team will make the Patriots throw to beat them? Which team is going to put it on Mac Jones in a January cold day or a January crucible on the road? Which team is going to do that? Which team is going to force the Patriots to have to do that? And that's why I keep returning to the Colts a little bit because that's what they did. That's what they did.
Yeah, but I don't think. But the Colts can't run and hide the way Kansas City can.
Okay, then that's. Well, I yes, in theory, that's another one of those, obviously, because the Chargers could against certain teams, but not New England. I mean, that's why I'm trying to sort of hunt and peck here.
Kansas City can just the Colts were aided by the Patriots. Kansas City could go touchdown on you, and you really didn't even do anything wrong. You're down 21-0. I mean, we've seen them do that in the playoffs.
Right.
But so that would be a team that would put the onus on the Patriots to say, okay, well, we came in one to be balanced, but we got to throw now. But I really don't think that there's a lot about Mac Jones' game that would make me say, okay, party's over. I'm going to go, take the decorations down. I still think he has enough that he could perform in a desperate, you got to throw it 55 times game. I really do.
Well, I mean, again, the kid's played in big games before. I mean, he just has. He's played in big games. He's played in championship games. He's a self-made kid. He's taken coaching clearly very well, it just was can't win. That's why I just basically, racked that one up to the can't win them all category. Like New England wasn't going to win out, but that's what makes this weekend so big. Because you could knock them out.
Are you happy that it's at 1 o'clock, or would you rather it be a prime time or a 4
No,
o'clock? I kind of like it at 1.
Sometimes, man, you got to serve some filet mignon for breakfast. Sometimes it's what you got to do.
But it would be a little colder at night, though.
Got to get your steak with your eggs.
I know, but these guys are built for the cold. Well, actually, Mac Jones, we'll see.
All right,
but they already had an element game. I like crystal clear, warm. I don't even know what the weather is, but
we talked about it yesterday. It's 40 degrees,
40.
Partly cloudy. That's it. That's all you're gonna get. So I'm with you too. Hey, before I let you go, I'll put you on the spot. It's Festivus. We're airing of grievances. You got anything you want to air for grievance, either sports wise or just the world? Tom, you're from New England. You must have a grievance.
I do, but I'm reading a book, It's called Untethered Soul, and I have to read this book every once in a while when I'm starting to get agitated. Very helpful. I have a stack of like these self-help books.
Okay.
Where you have to shut up the little thing in your brain that's constantly chirping at you. So as a result, I have no Festivus grievances because I've asked that guy to shut up.
Huh. Do you think that's what Belichick's reading now too, Tom? Maybe that's it.
How to win friends and influence people.
Maybe Bill's reading Untethered Soul too, and that's why he's like,
I'm telling you, it came out in 2007. It's a very simple book. It's pretty
Perfect
helpful.
season. Right.
Okay, we all have that little guy who just never shuts up. Somebody goes past you in traffic, then they cut back in, and you just, what is he doing? You know what? How would he like me on his bumper? How would he like it making? And then you're like, what are you doing that for?
That's right. Untethered Soul. I got it.
The Journey Beyond Yourself. That's what it's called.
It's called The Journey Beyond Yourself.
Yeah, the Untethered Soul. The Journey Beyond Yourself.
I know people eye roll at this stuff. I do. But anything that can make you a little bit better, more at peace every day, ain't nothing wrong with that. You'll be more fun around the family unless you're a tethered soul. Do you want to be a tethered soul on Christmas morning? If you do, go ahead. Be as tethered as you want to be, but you got to be not fun to be around.
Yeah, we just looked it up. The audiobook version is read by Bill Belichick. So, yep, that's it. Yep.
Are you audio or hard copy, Tom?
He's a hard copy,
I'm
man.
a Kindle guy.
Come on.
Kindle.
Oh, it's Kindle. Oh, very good. Well, that's old school in a way, too. Okay, very good. Well, you'll be perfect for the Los Angeles Super Bowl if you make it, Tom. So that'll be perfect. It'll be perfect.
Thank you.
Take care.
Up there? I'll see you out there.
I hope so. Yeah, I hope you'll see me. No doubt. It's good to see you, Tom Curran, or good to chat with you. You be well. Have a happy holiday with you and your family.
All right. Thanks for always having me. Thanks for having me be part of this, and I appreciate you guys.
Always.
Take care.
Right back at you. At Tom E. Curran on Twitter. Follow him. I do. Fun follow.
The best.
Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.